6:45 Eastern time, probably around 7:45, 8 o'clock. We should see some dark match superstars. Ryan Gray is going to be doing play-by-play over at ProWrestlingScoops.com for that, and then we'll put them up on the rest of the website as soon as they end. What else?
This past weekend. Okay, what happened?
I was just going to say one more note from Hard Justice. We had former WWE star Kevin Thorne, Larry Zbyszko, and Braden Walker, Chris Harris, were backstage at Hard Justice. The Wildcat, Chris. The Wildcat or Braden Walker.
That's his name in WWE? Braden Walker. What is it?
Oh, God. Braden Walker.
Braden Walker?
Braden Walker. B-R-A-D-E-N. Braden Walker.
Okay.
Horrible. Yeah, okay, right? He was gone before that gimmick even began. And that
has he been on TV yet? He signed them.
Yeah, but dude,
wasn't he with, didn't him and R-Truth sign at the same time? Wasn't it like a long time ago?
I think R-Truth was a little bit later than Braden Walker was. But goddamn, man, I mean, you had America's Most Wanted, AMW, James Storm, and Chris Harris. I mean, give it up for Beer Money Inc. with Robert Roode. You know what I mean?
Robert Roode's good at wrestling, but James Storm is the glue that holds those teams together. He's the character. You know, he's the animated one.
I mean, you got to give it up for Beer Money Inc. because they've made a name for themselves. Too, you know what I mean? But as far as back in the day, I mean, America's Most Wanted, AMW was one of the best tag teams in the business.
Yeah, James Storm's becoming this generation's like Arn Anderson or something. He's good in any tag team they put him in. You know, Larry Zbyszko, Bobby Eaton, whoever.
Larry Zbyszko, another one that was backstage at Hard Justice. Yeah,
a living legend.
What else? We talked about the what were you going to say before I cut you off?
I figure we got 12 minutes left. We haven't talked about Strikeforce yet. That was this past weekend as well. So
yeah, let's do. We'll do Strikeforce, and then we'll get on out of here. And then, like I said, guys, we're going to be back tomorrow night, 7 to 9 Eastern time. WZROnline.com. I'm going to do our normal Tuesday night show. I know a lot of people. We brought this on you kind of late notice today. Put the website out, or put the notice out on the website. It's only a couple hours before we went live. But look at all the people. Look at all the people that showed up on a Monday afternoon.
The Army, man, they find you. If you're out there, they find you.
I know. Good people, man. Well, they're also on that shout box, you know what I mean, over on WZR.
I was watching that. I didn't know that it updated by itself. Like, you can sit there and, like, almost like an instant messenger and just watch a new message pop up in a few seconds.
You know what the cool thing about it is all these guys, you know, they seem to know each other. I know Lil Wayne's over there and, you know, all the other guys, but they seem to know each other, and then they check back on a daily basis. And it's almost like the guys make friends online, you know what I mean?
That's special.
Well, hey, listen. If I can put together a relationship, whether it's between two men just being friends, or whether it's between a guy and a girl hooking up through the WZROnline.com shout box, I feel good about myself, baby.
If you can affect one life, you've done your job. I like it.
Yeah, right. Got to bring the people together, man. Got to bring the people. That shout box is cool, man.
It is cool. Yeah. I actually have the same thing on MMAnews.com. Mine looks different, but it's the same basic thing.
Well, everybody's cool over there, man. I mean,
I'll admit too, I stole that straight from you when I saw you had that. I was like, I got to use that. Boy, this person won't give up. Whoever the hell's calling me, Jesus Christ.
Tell them 12 minutes to go, baby. 12 minutes to go.
The whole show. I think I've had like 8 or 9 calls now. Fuck 'em.
Yeah, I haven't had one, man. And this is, I mean, you know me, man. I'm always getting calls, Joe.
Well, that's all them fat bitches from high school. They hear me talking about them.
Yeah, it is. That's what it is. All them fat girls from high school.
Is that going to be the new angle? You're RC Cola, and I'm the guy that doesn't pay his bills and fucks fatties? What am I?
And fucks oh, man, you're just the guy that used to bang the high school fatties.
I did. I don't know. Strikeforce, Carano versus Cyborg. We got 9 minutes left here. We can get it as long as we want, really. But, yeah, that was the big females main event, first time in history on a big show. Gina Carano, the biggest female in the sport, celebrity in her own right from American Gladiators and all that stuff, magazines. She fought Chris Cyborg Santos, like the Vanderlei Silva of lady fighters, in the main event for the 145-pound women's championship, which they created. And the big thing about that is, with that title, they got the new rules changed. Formerly, for any female MMA fight, it was 3 rounds, 3 minutes per round. And then, now for this fight, it was a championship fight, so it was 5 rounds, 5 minutes per round instead of 5 rounds, 3 minutes per round. It was the same as, you know, a Randy Couture fight, Brock Lesnar fight, anybody fight would be in UFC if they're a champion. 5-minute rounds, 5 rounds. Obviously didn't go that far, but the 5 minutes turned out to, it could make a big difference. I mean, if that fight was a 3-minute round fight or even a 5 3-minute round fight, we would have went into round 2. We would have came close to going into round 3, and who knows what would have happened. It could have been a different fight, you know. I think they both got tired after about the 2.5-minute mark. Well, Gina definitely did. So
well,
I mean,
that's what I was gonna say, man. Is Gina looks gassed. I mean, in round 1 she was done. You know what I mean? Oh man, what's going on? Here's the good thing: is after the fight was over, I know she took an ass whooping, but I mean, when that fight was stopped, God, that referee stopped at what, 1 second left to go in the round? Maybe
less than a second. I mean, if he would have just farted instead of, you know, jumping in, the bell would have sounded and there would have been a second round. I mean, they might have stopped the between rounds. You never know, but
she was getting hit to the back of the head. You know what I mean? So
one of them got through to the face, like a real good one got through to the face.
Yeah, so you know where I'm going with this. So after the fight was over, I looked at Gina's
Don't do
face.
it, Gina.
No,
Gina, don't do it.
Going. I said, oh, no, please. But no, I mean, after the fight was over, her face was still that pretty Gina face that we're all used to.
It was reddened up pretty good, but I mean, I'm sure it was probably still pretty after the fight, because that's when the black and blue and the swelling settles in. But.
Yeah, but I'm looking at the nose. You know, I don't want that nose to go crooked. And you know what I mean? I mean, she's a pretty girl. I mean, she's not a fat chick from high school.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Although she does miss weight a lot, so I don't know.
Yeah. No, but I mean, it was just.
I think people are giving her a bad rap. I think she held her own in that fight quite fucking well, man. I mean, let's look at it. She had mount. I don't know. At one point, she had mount, and she just stood up and let her get up. I don't know why she did that. She had Cyborg mounted and could have just beat the piss out of her right there. Right. Instead, she gets up and lets her get up. Why would you do that? But, you know, she was landing punches standing up. I mean, Cyborg was the aggressor, but, I mean, even halfway through the round, the announcers were noting it. Cyborg was starting to back up. She was starting to take steps back. Gina was pressing the action. So, I mean, she had her moments. She didn't just get overwhelmed. She wasn't dominated. I mean, she lost in dominating fashion, but she wasn't dominated thoroughly for the whole 4 minutes, 59 seconds.
Who do you think is going to beat Cyborg? If Gina can't beat Cyborg,
I could sit here and pretend to be Mr. MMA Insider, because, you know, I do know a lot about the sport and everything, but I don't know a fucking thing about the women's division. I don't know where the weights, who separates in weight class. I don't even know what the weight classes are. I know, I mean, like I said, only from my plugs, I know that the next person supposed to fight Cyborg is Marlos Conan. I don't even know if you say it. There's like a bunch of E's in there that don't look like they belong. Like Marlos Cohen. I don't know. Right. She's fighting her next, and then there's somebody named Misha Tate, who we also interviewed, that's talking about fighting Cyborg, and both of those chicks, they're not Gina, but they're not Cyborg. They don't look like ugly, hideous-looking chicks. They're like, you know, cute chicks. They're just not hot like Gina.
Ugly, hideous-looking chicks, like, you know, the high school stuff.
All right, that's getting old.
All right. I can't kill it all at one show. You know, I got to spread it out. But yeah,
no, I don't know of anybody. I mean, I know those names because we interviewed them, but I mean, I've never seen any one of those chicks fight. I don't know if they're on Cyborg's level or even Gina's level. I don't know. I would say Cyborg is the pound for pound queen of women's fighting. I don't know.
Let me ask you, while we're on women's MMA, excuse me, there was a report today that Tara Victoria from TNA, or Victoria from WWE, Tara from TNA, she was going to enter MMA. She's been training for a fight.
That's been known,
Yeah, that's been known, but there were rumors that she was going to take on Kim Couture.
Yeah, Randy Couture's ex-wife.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, they just threw the name out and said that that's who they're in. I mean, they made it. The impression I got is that they're trying to make that fight, so I don't see why they couldn't. Kim Couture is not, I mean, she's a big name because she was married to Randy Couture, but she's only had 1 or 2 fights herself at maximum, and I don't think, did she lose one of them? I don't know. She's not she's not some badass woman fighter, so I mean, it would be a good fight for business because, you know, WWE TNA chick versus Randy Couture's ex-wife. They got names, so, you know, it's the only other women. I mean, that would probably be the second biggest women's fight in history.
Well, let's say this. I mean, look at Bobby Lashley, who's going out, and what's he, 4-0, right? He's got a 4-0 record for himself right now, I believe. What do you think about Victoria just saying, you know what, I'm coming into MMA, I'm going to Strikeforce, which is the second biggest company in MMA right now, United States, in the United States, Strikeforce and UFC. You know, she's
in the world. In the world.
All right. No, well, F1 and those that they're not bigger than Strikeforce. No. All right. Well, anyway, she's coming to the number 2 promotion in the world, as you say, with a 0-0 MMA record. I mean, basically, I'm comparing her to Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley, I believe Bobby Lashley is doing things the right way, going out, building up his record to a strong 5-0, 6-0, 7-0, whatever it may be. You know, he may lose as well. Who knows? But then he's going to come into UFC with this record, probably an undefeated record. You know what I mean? And he's had some fights under his belt. Where Victoria comes in, I don't know, Kim Couture, she's not a huge, the only reason she's big is, like you said, she's got the Couture last name, da-da-da-da-da-da, Randy Couture's ex-wife, this and that. But, I mean, do you agree with her coming to Strikeforce right now with an 0-0 record?
I mean, I don't want to sound like a misogynist, but it's women's MMA. That the rules that apply to men's fighting does not apply to women's fighting. Like I've seen a lot of people say Victoria's a little old to start trying to be an MMA fighter. In the women's division, I mean, it's not like the best women fighters in the world are all there. I mean,
right, and then who else has a women's division, a credible women's division besides Strikeforce, right? I mean,
the only thing that I can think about that even did women's fights prior to this in America was Hook and Shoot, and I don't even know if they still exist. The Jeff Osborne promotion, I don't even know if that's still around, but they did an all women's MMA show, and
right.
But
I mean, you had a title introduced. I mean, with the Cyborg Gina fight. And there's a new and there's never been an MMA.
Do we know how much Victoria weighs or Tara weighs?
No, I don't.
Because it's a 145-pound title. Is she around there? I mean, that seems about right, no?
Yeah.
She seems like about as big as, I mean, she seems the same size as Cyborg, doesn't she? I'm trying to picture her from WWE days.
I'd say maybe a little bit bigger. Or, about the same size. Probably about the same size.
So I don't know.
145, no doubt. But, I mean, she'd be a contender for that belt. I think it may be a little bit. I know.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, we've never seen her fight her, and she doesn't have you're talking about compared to Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley's still in his prime as far as his age goes, and he's got the amateur wrestling pedigree.
I'm comparing it to Bobby Lashley in the fact that, as far as records and making a name for yourself before you come in and try to take on the big league. You know what I mean? Before Lashley goes to the UFC, before Victoria.
Yeah, but there is no big leagues for women's MMA. There's only one big fight or two big fights. That would be her against Gina.
There's also indie federations that she could go and at least get a few belts under her belt before she goes on CBS or something to fight, or Showtime. You know what I mean? I mean, Bobby Lashley fought for some people that weren't televised events, weren't even broadcast on the internet. You know what I mean? Just in front of a live crowd. So I just think it may be a little bit too early for Victoria to come in and try to make a name for herself with the top names in.
But it's not the top names. Kim Couture is not a top name. She's a name just like Tara's a name because she's got popularity from something else. Married to Randy Couture, Tara's got the popularity from being a wrestling diva. As far as fighting skills, they're not. I mean, it's not like any women fighter with a little bit of training could fight Kim Couture. Because she's brand new to fighting herself, Kim Couture. I mean, she's had amateur kickboxing or whatever the crap. I mean, everybody can claim that one way or the other. So, I mean, Victoria, doesn't she even claim she's had judo and whatever the hell else, some kind of martial arts background?
I guess